जीवं कल्पयते पूर्वं ततो भावान् पृथक्विधान् बाह्यानाध्यात्मिकाश्चैव यथा विद्यस्तथा स्मृतिः So, Anju, आप पढ़ोगे.
First of all, the egocentric attitude, Jeev Bhav, is projected and therefore follow imaginations of the various entities, both objective and subjective. As in the knowledge, so in the memory of it.
As is the knowledge, so is the memory of it.
As is the knowledge, so is the memory of it.
So, जैसी knowledge होगी, वैसी memory होगी. That's what he's saying.
Now the question arises, if everything constituted of the objective and the subjective world be nothing but imagination, what is the very source of all these imaginations? As it were, the objector now accepts the argument of Vedanta that the waking state world can no more be given a greater share of reality than the delusionary dream world. Now the objector is trying to understand the point of view of Vedanta. He says, if, as you say, O Vedantin, in us be mere imagination of the mind, what is the source of these imaginations? It cannot be merely the mind, because the mind is nothing but matter inert.
Matter, it's inert and insentient.
Inert, insentient and dead. Nor can this be Atman, since the Atman is knowledge, and in knowledge there cannot be any delusion.
So let's just stop here for a second. We'll just try to understand what is he trying to say. So he's saying you are saying that both are imagination. So ये आया कहाँ से imagination? And then he's trying to analyze and say, okay, the mind actually is made of matter. Because that's what they say, right? Mind is made of subtle matter. तो उसमें तो imagination नहीं हो सकता है, खाली matter में तो. And then Atma is a pure knowledge.
Yeah.
तो फिर कहाँ से आ गया imagination? तो ये उसका question है. अब देखो आगे क्या बोलते हैं.
Answering the objector, Gautpada says, the first of all, the imagination of separative individual self, Jivatma, Bhavana, is rendered upon the Atma. This egocentric idea is born with the concept of the separateness. When the mind rose up and the awareness was reflected on the mental pool of its own thought flow, the egocentric identity, seemingly real, changes its attitude, character, nature, and the behavior according to the reflecting medium, namely the mental condition. This ego, Jeev, which is the reflection of reality on the mental lake, is the one which is the enjoyer and the doer, who is the sufferer and the liberated, who is the seeker and the siddha.
So let's stop here for 1 minute, because I just want to bring this back to the fact that when we say God is everywhere, in the Vedanta they believe that in our self, it's reflected in our mind. The God का जो consciousness का जो reflection है, that happens through the mind. So it's like a mirror, like you were saying. More clean the mind, more brilliant the reflection. And more unclean the mind means काम, क्रोध, लोभ, मोह, so then the reflection is not so great. So if you understand that, and he's saying that once the consciousness reflects through the mind, the ego rises up in all of us.
When it comes into the individual self, then that ego comes. नहीं तो उसके पहले ego नहीं है. It's just pure consciousness. See, the sun is shining, there's pure consciousness. It goes through this glass. If this glass is clear, it's going on. Suppose this glass had some opaque paper on it.
It won't go through.
So it will not go through there. है ना? तो वो opaque paper से it will be little hazy. in that haziness, imagine that you're making your own stories.
I think I can give a better example because there is the reflection ka ek aur example hai. They say, okay, suppose sun is shining up and you have 10 buckets full of water
Yeah.
in the floor.
Yeah.
One bucket, the water is absolutely clean and not moving. And it's broad daylight, sun is up. The reflection will be exactly the way
Yeah.
the sun is.
Yeah.
Suppose the next bucket, it's muddy. Not fully muddy, partially muddy. So how will the reflection be? Not too clear. Now the reflection is thinking, oh my God, I'm so dirty. Is the sun dirty?
Reflection is thinking.
Yes,
reflection
yes.
Is, yeah.
Yes.
It's only
Right?
dirty because
Exactly.
it's clean on one, it should be clean on the other, depending on
But-
how the other is. Yeah.
But he thinks that because uska jo body hai water ka, it's dirty. Third one, it is shaking because the wind has come and it's so there's agitation in the mind. That's how they call it vikshepa and avaran they call it. You know. And the third one, itna thick mud hai, the sun is not reflecting at all.
Avaran ही avaran है.
I mean, it's covered हो गया एकदम. And then this person does not know anything about divinity. They don't think about. They are total nastic. The dunya ही है, but
So it
खाओ
doesn't
पियो
exist,
मजा करो. Eat, drink, and be
Total
merry.
in the gross world.
Gross world. Doesn't even know about the sun. So here this example fits
Have you
better.
seen people like that? Who
I
are
mean-
literally like that?
Oh yeah,
there
all
are
the
many
time.
people.
Oh, yes,
Was it
sure.
God? What are you talking about? Who God? What God? You
We
know?
don't believe in
No,
God.
even the
Even if you
Rishi
don't believe in
Muni.
God is okay. Everything
In fact,
is
in
okay.
Gita he says that.
What?
Okay, these Rishi Munis, they don't know that I am the Adi Karan of them. They are there because of me. They don't understand that.
Yeah.
So I used to wonder when I heard that, okay, how come they are so stupid? They don't know that.
No, there are different
The
levels
idea
of
is
understanding.
no,
So
because
even the Rishi Muni, they are also on different levels, right?
Yes. they are
no,
on
but
different
if you read the Bhadarnayake Upanishad, where he builds his own sun, he says well, he doesn't believe in anything, and the Rishi has so much tapasya he does that he has his own sun he builds, own universe he builds around it. I mean, it's there in the जो Bhadarnayake Upanishad है ना,
Yeah.
तो उसमें they talk
But
about.
you cannot say that because what she's saying is right too, that ultimately there are people who are totally self-realized. So then they don't, उसको यहाँ पर बोला है तत्व से मुझे जानता हो जो.
No, and also God,
ऐसे ज्ञान जरूरी है.
God जो है ना वो Brahma is only energy, and it is not God. It's just energy, and without disturbance, it's pure energy. It cannot be destroyed. It cannot be. It's eternal, and everything.
Which is
So
the
they
basis of all.
so they don't believe. They don't want to call it God. So they say this is.
But they don't call it God because of ignorance. The once that ignorance goes, then say this table. हाँ हम लोग अगर बोले ये भी भगवान है, कितने प्यार से हम इसको साफ करके रखेंगे. तो कोई बोलेगा how can this table be God? You know. But then where this material plastic that is made out of, how does the plastic come? What is the basis of plastic? Then you will mention the chemicals. Okay, the chemical and whatever density it is or whatever it is. But the basis is that consciousness, so manifested in that material.
But see, even Buddha, he
So,
never
nothing
believed
is
in God.
without that consciousness.
If you watch the whole Buddha
But you know
show,
the thing is that people say it slightly differently. They say he was silent on God. There's a difference.
Yeah, but
Because he had to appeal to certain kind of people who are too much in the sansar. They say, okay, forget about God, forget about everything. तुमको अपने
He
दुख
never
से निकलना है
discussed that.
बाहर. I'll show you how to do it. But the whole thing is like Hinduism only. There's no difference. The
No,
karmic
it's
story.
only a darshan of
yes,
Hinduism.
but he didn't go as
Buddhism is a
far as
darshan of
Brahman.
Hinduism.
That's all it is. Because
It's
a
not
lot of
away
people
from
cannot
Hinduism.
handle that. So they say, okay, just get out of your misery. Then it's also fine. Be in
But
peace.
I just remembered that we got a notice on our Palacio letter that Saturday, this coming Saturday, I think February 3rd, 1 to 2:30, they have an introduction to Buddhism discussion in Delmar Library.
Oh, acha.
So if anybody is interested, they
Yeah, I
can.
think I'll try. Oh, we are supposed to be.
Okay,
You
where are
want to
we?
read
Yeah,
the
we
third paragraph? We should talk at lunchtime.
Right,
Yeah,
right, right.
sorry.
Yeah,
No, that's
Now,
okay.
where do
Yeah.
I start?
Once this projection of the egocentric concept.
Once this projection of the egocentric concept is posited upon the Atma. This delusion creates a multiple hierarchy of delusions, each thickening the veil and taking us further and further away from a real nature, and in the ultimate analysis of it all, the egocentric, deluded entity in us looks out into a self-made world through the mind and the sense organs, to cognize in its own dream world a panorama of names and forms arranged and paraded to order. These are as decided by the previous mental impressions in the individuals. This idea is very subtly indicated when Gaudapada says very crisply, as the knowledge, so is the memory of it.
So here I just wanted to bring this point that you know that we have heard this, that जैसे हमारे impressions होते हैं उसी के हिसाब से हमको जन्म भी मिलता है, right?
Yeah.
So that's what he's talking about, that whatever is our knowledge है वैसी हमारी memory है, वैसी हमारे impressions हैं, and according to them अपनी दुनिया बनाते हैं to get. That's what in nutshell it is telling us.
No, but also he's telling is that these are all distorted impressions of our experiences.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's nothing in the dream world which is created. That's the one point is important. Because that book on dreams which I read from Sivananji, he talked about, which is very significant because it says the dream state cannot create anything. So it's always have happened in your real
Somewhere.
somewhere in
And it's
previous
just
life.
jumbled up,
and you,
yeah.
Oh,
And in
okay,
that
that's
you
what
must be
mean,
cutting
but,
off some of your karmas in the dream. You must be doing all
No,
kinds of.
I understand what you're saying, but here the context, the way it is saying
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that Jesse तुम्हारी और वो आगे he will explain it, that if you don't know anything about something, you won't even dream of it, you won't even want it, you won't even care about it. But the moment you get that impression in your mind, then you start seeking it, and he's going to
no,
let's read the rest
but
of
you
it.
Experience
must,
that.
but what he's saying is you must have experienced it in some
Somewhere,
previous
Right,
life.
right, of course.
Like when I saw Ramakrishna in dream, I had never heard of him
Yes,
in this life.
Yes, that is
So
that
the
is
point
in
is,
mind.
it
That
was
you had
because
in a
we-
previous life.
Actually,
That was-
it's not,
That's
we are
sanskar.
not creating anything, it
Yeah.
was there, you know.
No, they're like a toy. You know, चाबी भर दिया
Okay?
like in a toy.
Oh, toy, okay.
It's all this thing.
Also-
But there is one very very important thing that we in Vedanta it will say, okay, तुम्हारी सारी चाबी वाबी भरी हुई है, अब उसको कैसे खाली करो?
हाँ.
That is our job.
Yeah.
Unwind
तो वो-
it.
तभी वो योगस्थ होके काम करो, ये करो वो करो, so that you become free. Because
Or-
if you don't do that, you are always going to be perpetually stuck in this.
Also for distortion, it is like जाकी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूरत देखी तिहि तैसी, which means whatever you think you get.
You get
Yes, yes, yes.
So-
And even whatever you have in your heart, that's how the world seemed to you like.
Yeah.
So some people say दुनिया इतनी खराब है because they have so much negativity. Others say, it's beautiful. Look at the sunset. Look at this.
Everything happens for me easily. You
Yeah.
know, I just
No,
have to
because
pass through.
even when I went to one lecture from Deepak Chopra, he talked about this example from the scriptures only. This one guy came from a village, and he was moving to a new town, and he said, "How are the people there?" He asked somebody. He said, "How are the people when you were?" He said, "They were great." He said, "Well, they are great here."
Yeah.
The other guy came, he said, "Oh, they were terrible." He said, "Then you're going to find terrible."
Terrible people. Whatever is in your heart, you will
That's how
put
your
it.
mind works.
Yes. So let's finish it, and now
Yeah.
this will get clear. Yeah.
Sure.
This is a very great psychological truth which has a treasure house of implications stored away secretly in it. The chain of sequence which binds us to our actions can be explained something like this. Let us take an example. A villager who has never heard of cinemas may have his own desires, but in his list of desires there cannot be desire of going to
Picture.
just as we in Delhi may have our own desire, but among them there cannot be a desire to go for skiing.
Skating. Yeah. Okay.
If the villager is now brought to the cities and he hears repeatedly of the talks about the cinemas, he gains the knowledge of the idea of cinema. Then he goes to picture house to experience it, and comes with the idea of the knowledge of its enjoyments. Afterwards, in order to gain that enjoyment, he runs to the cinema houses, motivated and impelled by his idea of the knowledge of the cinema. Thus, his memory is controlled and directed by his experienced knowledge. He soon connects these two, the cinema going and the satisfaction, as cause and effect. Later on, whenever he wants to accomplish the effect, he struggles on to bring about the causes and plays upon them until the expected effect emerges out of them. The idea of the knowledge of food and the idea of the knowledge of satisfaction goes us to struggle hard, earn, procure and prepare the perfect food for gaining the perfect satisfaction of which we have an idea that it can give. This is true in all items of desire and desire-prompted actions of any life. Indeed, it is clear that as is his knowledge, so is his memory of it. If there is no knowledge of a thing, we cannot have a memory of the same. Our memories are conditioned by our knowledge. That's true, yeah.
So that's what he's talking about. And basically, one thing that we can remember, that in pure consciousness, nothing happens. Matter is inert, nothing happens. But unka jab sangam hota hai, that's when all these
But
projections
how does
start.
the knowledge get created?
You have made it. You want
I think
to
what he's
experience all
saying is that
You want to experience all
but
that.
when say I don't know when you are asking how the first knowledge came about,
Yeah.
right? That's
Because
what,
he wanted to
you know what?
experience.
That's why they call it anadi.
Shrutis.
Because when you start thinking,
When
going
they
back,
meditated, then they heard it.
yeah.
That's how it came.
I think Puranas and all these, they have all these kind of stories to
Yeah.
satisfy us, but they call it beginningless because the more you start thinking, you'll go crazy.
Right.
You
So
know,
it's better.
also-
All we need. This is a very nice story.
Yeah.
I think आपने भी सुनी होगी कि दो आदमी लोग खड़े थे पेड़ के नीचे और एक सांप आया. सुना है ये कहानी?
पता नहीं.
एक साइंटिस्ट था और दूसरा विलेजर था, मतलब ऑर्डिनरी सीधा आदमी था. तो वो साइंटिस्ट था, वो कौन सा सांप है, कहाँ से आया है, इसका रंग कौन सा है, फलाना फलाना. और वो जो विलेजर था वो दूर जाके खड़ा हो गया है? और सांप ने किसको काटा? साइंटिस्ट को. वहीं खड़ा था ना. So तुम लोग का भी ये हाल है.
Dissecting
ये फलाना कहाँ से आया, कब आया, क्यों आया, ये है वो. अरे दुख से भरा हुआ है, उसे निकलने का रास्ता तो.
नहीं वो
Yeah.
स्वामी रामा का I was watching.
I love this story. Just find out how to get out of it.
Yeah.
This
Why waste time?
The super consciousness talk I was watching from Swami Rama, I think I sent you guys. If I did, I'll send you. Very good. He said if you have to cross the road, don't look at the license plates, which car is coming.
You will get hit by
You
a
have
car.
to save yourself and cross the road.
Same idea. Same idea.
Yeah.
कि भाई you know
जल्दी से
so
क्रॉस करो.
sometimes we don't know. That's why वो शास्त्र ने बोल दिया. You know, beginningless.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But you can end it.
Yeah.
Your ignorance is beginningless, but you can end it.
Yeah.
That's
With
how.
knowledge you cut
Because
off
we
that.
used to all go through this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start asking questions and then you don't even have the answer.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Okay.
Okay. So now what is the time?
I think we should.
You want to start? Purnamevavashishyate.
Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
Om Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi Brahmano Brahmanahutam Brahmaiva Tena Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. Should we do 3 times Om?
Yeah.
You want to lead it 3 times? We can do it. यहीं पर बैठे
Okay. Take a nice deep breath and then concentrate 2 inches below the navel. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.